Hi, I'm Matt Little. I'm the Director of Counselling and Education at Empowering Awareness.Asia, and I'm a proud sponsor of this podcast.
Hi.
How are you doing?
All good in sunny Shenzhen today. Nice weather. The end of the summer and the beginning of autumn here. So beautiful time.
Firstly, thank you very much for giving me opportunity to interview you for my YouTube channel and for my podcast and for my channels.
You're welcome. Let's start. Happy to share
So,
with you.
so I've gone through your profile. I can see you're doing number of projects and number of work. So I thought to tell about your work and about your experience to my audience. So can you please introduce yourself to my audience?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Laurent Le Pen. I'm French, but I've been living in Shenzhen in China for almost 17 years. Basically, in December 27th, it would be exactly 17 years that I live here. And so I was born and raised in France. I study mainly in France and in the Netherlands. And after I started my career in the mobile phone design industry at Philips in Le Mans. And in 2005, I started, and late 2007, I moved to Shenzhen, and I was 25 years old at that time. So, as I used to say, I'll let you do the math for your audience as well. I will have my birthday next week, exactly in a week, and I run, so since 2013, I run two companies. One is called Omate. We design wearable for people who need protection. So mainly smartwatches and other connected devices, wearables, for mainly the seniors, but also lone workers. And I've been doing that so for 11 years now. And in 2016, I co-founded another company, more B2C oriented, dedicated to the oral care industry, which is called Oclean, and we sell mainly like high-end, like smart toothbrush, like that one. This is one of our latest model, all over the world, but mainly in Europe, where we are, the most successful right now. So that's about the two activities I run, and I also part of the French tech community here, where we set up like some meetups, with French entrepreneurs who want to run businesses in our region, in the Greater Bay Area. So it's called like French Tech Hong Kong Shenzhen, and is to help like French entrepreneurs who wants to set up their business here or expand in China. And also to scout, the scale-ups, Chinese scale-ups who are like growing, expanding their business, to help them when they consider entering European market to choose France as their regional headquarters. So that's my main activities, and I'm father of two. My wife is Chinese, and that's about me.
Great. Can you tell about a little bit about your background, like your education background, like where you came from and what you have studied before entering
Yeah,
into these businesses?
sure. So, as I said, I was born and raised in France, in Bretagne, in the northwest of France. I mainly did like economic studies, and after I focused on marketing and sales. After I graduated from, I did a bachelor in international purchasing management. So that was my major, like in sourcing. After I started my career in a spin-off of Philips Mobile called Ceylon, who were a very large original design manufacturer of mobile phone based in Le Mans in France, 1 hour from Paris. And I started as a strategic buyer. So I was like in charge of like in the bill of material, the components of a product, basically it's called like in the Pareto, like the 20% of the components will represent 80% of the value. So in a mobile phone, basically it's like, like the display, it was the display, the camera, the chipset, and I was also in charge of the new technologies, like new emerging technologies, but that was almost 20 years ago. So that's how I started my career.
So right now you are handling two projects. So what made you to start this, and what are those ideas? You are doing a successful business today.
Well, so my first business is so I was independent from after 2 years living in Shenzhen. So the company went from we were like 300 employees. Then a year after, I was still in France, we went to 200. So first round of layoffs. So it was a bit scary. And then exactly 2 years after, so that was 2005, 2006, 2007. The company got acquired by one of our customers. It was an Indian-based company, but very successful in Russia, called Fly Mobile. And then at that time, they give me like this opportunity, like either you are like you are laid off, or you can be manager in Shenzhen. So I was 25 years old, and I said like, yeah, okay, maybe let's take this opportunity to move to Shenzhen. And after I run after 2 years, I joined one of our ODM, a local ODM in Shenzhen called Umeox, and with the chairman of the company, I told them like, okay, I would like to could do something, but no, because I was a buyer. And I said I would like to be more involved in marketing and sales. So it's kind of the mirror of the purchasing side or the sourcing side. Is that I was quite young, and I was meeting like a lot of high level sales people from like these chipset companies, from many display companies, so many Chinese, Korean, Japanese company, European, I mean from everywhere in the world anyway. And I was just interested like to move to the sales side, so marketing and sales. And then he was very happy about it that I joined. I did that for a year, and after so I did not get any business for a year, so it was a bit a disaster. But I got one customer, and it was called Cypheme. It was a very successful startup in the Silicon Valley designing ultra rugged phones at that time. So I had clinched like a project with them, and the management then hired me, asked me like, hey Laurent, this project we will not do it at the end, but we would like to hire you. So I joined that company for a year, and they made me like an offer, as I remember, like they say it's an offer I could not refuse. So it was a very good offer. So I joined for a year, and I told like Umeox CEO that, look, just keep me. I will do that for a year. After a year, I will come back. And so just keep my desk, keep my office, and I will join back in a year. And that's what happened. Then I started really to sell like many projects, mainly in Europe and Latin America, many phones. We are designing phones. And in 2012 was really the beginning of this big phone. So you have to imagine it's a time that doesn't exist anymore. But when I started my career, we were designing phones like with keypad, like with very tiny displays and so on. And it was just like 2010, so 2007 first is iPhone moment, and after the trend with Samsung, with all this, everyone was jumping into the smartphone era. And we designed like the first, at Umeox, the first 5.3 inch display. It was just before the Galaxy Note 1. I'm not sure where we are now, Galaxy Note, whatever, maybe 15 or something like that. And And it was also then 2012, the beginning of the smartwatch. And that's where I started like Omate as a project. That was the very first moment where I said, okay, there is a eureka moment. It's the time of the smartwatch, and then we could reuse like all our knowledge and skills in the mobile phone design to build like a first telecom smartwatch, basically. So that's how everything started.
Great. And the second business that you're working for is a toothbrush.
Yes, Oclean is so it came after a few pivot, of Omate. So 2013, very beginning of Omate, very beginning of having a brand and having mainly at that time was quite a big success, but because it was the first wave of wearables, and so we got a lot of attention. And after Apple came 2 years later, 2015. And then, because I've seen that from my own eyes in the industry, in the mobile phone design, what Apple did, I knew that they will disrupt again the market. They will take the lion's share of the business of the wearables, of the smartwatch, basically. And so I knew I had to pivot. So I did this smart move to move to first the kids. So I did a few pivot before, but we did like some fashion, more fashion-oriented watches. But then 2015, the Apple moment, Apple Watch, I switched to kids first, and later on 2016 to seniors, and that really saved the company. So more niche, more like low profile, much less like as a brand, but more in the B2B side, where we were much more comfortable. And at the same time, with my former designer at Omate, we launched with a few friends, like another company called Oclean, and then we got. So it was a toothbrush, was really like just a design and an idea that we could get like a sonic vibrator exclusivity. They were really pushing us to launch that and said like you can reuse what everything you learned from Omate. So we did that, and a partner of Xiaomi called at that time Huami, now it's called Zepp. It's a company who designed like all the Mi Band, and they have a brand also called Amazfit, and they invested in our company. So they really kickstart or they help us like with to have like very good price on components and to design and we were in the office for a year. And we launched Oclean, the Oclean 1, in early 2017. And since then, we have like a full collection of a product, and we are present in maybe 50 countries all over the world. So, and this is purely like B2C. So I have Omate on B2B for the wearables, and Oclean for B2C on oral care.
So, how this technological thing came in your mind? Like, what is that background which is making you to do things better today?
Well, it's really when the stars are aligned. So, when I come back to Omate, it was like we got access to, it was the end of the iPod Nano, and the supplier is LG. Was LG because, again, in the bill of material of all, consumer electronics, but especially mobile phone, you have like plenty of components, and it's fun to know that LG or Samsung can be also partners of Apple success and in part of in the iPhone. But for the iPod Nano, it was I think the 6th generation. It was a tiny display, like full HD display designed by LG. And because it was end of life, LG had a lot of stock basically, and Apple, I don't know the contract with Apple, but LG had all these displays available, and at the same time, it's the end of these small phones with small display, at least for many places. So at least for the market we were targeting, and so we were, at the first time, we were not interested in this tiny display because, so it stayed on my desk like for a month. And suddenly we got the idea we had this big, PCBs, this motherboard of our Android phone, and we connected it to this tiny display, and we saw like a thumbnail version of Android running on it. And that really the kind of eureka moment I used to say, where you realize if you can shrink down the motherboard, maybe we could do like a tiny, I was thinking not a tiny phone, but a tiny, like Android device. We had no idea. And suddenly it was also at the same time the beginning of the smartwatch with Sony launched a smartwatch. It was a company, a startup in Silicon Valley called Pebble. We were also like, launching like a e-paper smartwatch. So, and then I realized like, oh, maybe we could redesign that to make a smartwatch. And that's how we started. So in the process is really where moment meets, opportunity meets, like business potential. So you need to check everything was checked, the stars were aligned. And also it was the beginning of crowdfunding. So when we launched it, we were not at all like a B2C company. I knew no journalists. I had no PR. I didn't know what was raising money. I was just a business B2B guy. So suddenly when we launched that and become like B2C, we had to deal with 5,000 people, so it was a bit headache, but ultimately we managed it. So this is a TrueSmart actually. I prepared it for you. This is a very original homemade TrueSmart. And that was 11 years ago. And still that product is incredible. When we look at it, like it's still the mother of all our products that we design today. Even though we are focusing on seniors or lone workers, it's the same basically concept. It all comes from the homemade TrueSmart. So this is one of our latest model. So you can see it's really like about the same form factor, basically.
What are the features of it?
Of the TrueSmart originally?
Yeah.
It was like a tiny open source kind of, Android wearable version. And that was even before Android Wear. It was before the Apple Watch. So it had the capabilities of connecting, any apps to the internet. There was a SIM card. At that time it was 3G. Now our devices are 4G. But it was like a full Android, basically smartwatch. And we were really the world first to launch that. So it was really like it had a big momentum.
So the present product that you are designing?
Sorry, say it again.
The present products that you are designing and that you are selling to different countries?
Today we reuse the same concept, but we fine-tune what we call the ROM. So it's kind of a launcher on top of the watch. So imagine it's like your phone and you apply a launcher, so it will totally revamp the user interface. But in this case, it's we are focusing on what we created as a term like wearable as a service. So this WAS, or wearable as a service, is really focused on protection of seniors. So there are many features that we use, like many kind of sensors in the watch to like fall detection, but also if you press like the red button, it will takes your heart rate, it takes your all your biometrics, but also use the GPS. It will automatically extract the GPS and send all this information to a service center. So that's where it's important. We team up with telecare companies, with insurance companies, to provide a service for the elderly. So the old people, seniors, and Also, another segment is the lone workers. So it's people working in security, construction, like utilities, transportation, where they can be at risk as well. And if you have like an accident, we can detect it, or you can press emergency. Then it can scale the service to, let's say, like your manager, or up to directly if you don't reply, like, are you okay? If you are not able, like, to click on the button to say, yeah, I'm fine, it's just like a false alert, then it would scale up to a professional emergency service. So we are very proud to say that for the last 8 years now, we are like saving lives every day, because we have many users who are pressing that red button, or we detect like emergencies every day.
So, which countries are using more? Which
Sorry?
countries are using your product more?
Oh, in terms of countries, we mainly focus in Europe and North America. That's where we are like the most successful, at least on that segment, for the seniors and the lone workers. And for Oclean, it's really like worldwide. Actually, for any companies, any product I launch, we try to make it worldwide, and after we make our announcement like really globally, and after we will focus on where it really pop-ups. And for Oclean, we are like really strong in Eastern Europe. We are selling obviously in China, in many Southeast Asia countries, but also in the US. But where we are really, really strong is in Eastern Europe right now. Poland is number one for us.
So, creating a product and reaching everywhere, how do you feel and how that makes you feel?
Well, really again, the goal is to any product we design is to launch it globally. So after it doesn't really, we are very happy to see that if it works like in Latin America, in Europe, in US, in Asia, we are very excited. Like we just launched in South Korea, like our new flosser, and it went super well. So a water flosser. So yeah, it's very exciting to be able like to launch everywhere. But after we really focus on the countries where it's like growing faster than others. That's a business-oriented behavior.
And tell us about your team.
Yes, so at Omate, because we started with Umeox, I was part of the executive team there, and then we set up like Omate as an independent company in 2013. But we are still, our office at Umeox, so we are about like 100 people now, so about maybe 50 engineers working on various projects, but mainly on Wearable basically and other IoT products. And for Oclean, we are 150 employees, so we grow pretty fast for Oclean. And now we even have a team in Europe, especially in Scandinavia and Eastern Europe, which is growing pretty well.
So, how is this management working everywhere, all over the country? I mean, all over the globe.
Well, we are very well structured, so we have like a very good management, like to handle all these facilities. Actually, even at Oclean this year, we built our own factory. So we also have like our own industrial site after we raise money, in April. So yeah, it's a very international management, I would say. Even though I'm the only French based in Shenzhen, but or the only foreigner. But there are other colleagues who are also like we have like an experience from working overseas. So it's pretty well managed, yeah.
So you already have this sales background and you have studied different subjects in your career, and now you're working internationally. So, uh, making a product reach everywhere, and what are those things that help you, or those qualities in you that made you to, work all this, made this possible?
Well, I really, because I started my career like designing products, like really focusing on a few, categories, but very strategic categories of a product. So it's a very complex environment, of course, like consumer electronics. But when you focus on the class A items of the bill of material, like the very strategic ones, the ones that can make like your price be competitive or not, because the class A is really like this, again, this 20% of the components will represent 80% of the value. So this I learned a lot. That was a very good, let's say, a school for me. That was like kind of, that was my MBA, let's say, working for this, big international corporation, or with this big project, big companies. After we have been like, so that helped me a lot to start from the sourcing side, to know really well like about the component, and after from design to engineering, to work with the whole team. And I always wanted, actually I was more like a marketing guy. So marketing is, the best explanation about marketing is like all the action that allows you to sell a product. The branding, or advertisement, or line with your brand. That's what really excited me a lot. After
I feel I'm losing your voice. I'm losing your sound. I can't hear you. No, suddenly, yeah.
I don't know why. Why? Talking now?
Yeah, it's coming and going, and it's too low.
I'm not sure where it comes from. Talking now?
It's coming and going.
Not sure. I'm sorry, because again, I don't. I have very good. I have very good DJI,
Yeah, now it's
but
good.
okay. So tell me, you want me to go
Yeah,
back to?
you can go on.
Okay, can you remind me the question?
So you was telling about how this you made this possible.
Um, yeah. So originally, because I learned a lot from this, my experience from this bigger company as I started working in the very international corporation, and starting from the sourcing side was very good for me, especially to learn like all the components and all the everything inside the product. And later on, because I really wanted to be part of the marketing and sales, I think that was my DNA, my original DNA actually. That was my fate, or I don't know. That's where I learned from the sourcing side, and then because I met all these very interesting people, from senior people and top executive, and I think I wanted to be part of their team. So that's all. Everything started for me, and I learned a lot from the sourcing side, and then from design to engineering, up to be able to build my own companies and own product, and that was very exciting. So that has been the process, and I think that has been a very good school for me. As I said, that this first 2 years was kind of my MBA, and then being in China also totally changed like the way I was thinking about product development and speed to design. And finally, like marketing is all this action to be able to sell a product without a salesman. So I learned a lot about that, and that's how everything started for me.
So today you are very successful in business. How can you be good in engineering side of the technology and also be good in business side of the technology?
Well, especially for Internet of Things product, or because basically a smartphone is an IoT product, or anything we do also in the wearable space is, and even like oral care, like connected wearables and connected oral care is all about. It's the same kind of scope of business. So I learned a lot from the design perspective, from the planning as well. This is key element of being like successful, to be able like to really manage your planning. And then I got like this kind of over the years I got like this engineering degree, from being constantly with our engineering team, from our design team. I know a lot of things about the industry, but if you stop like for 1 or 2 years, especially mobile phone, but it's the same for the whole IoT, it goes so fast, you will be like you will lose like the pace, you have to be constantly in. I know many friends, ex-colleagues, who have been in other industries, and they told me they kind of regret it because it's very, even automotive right now is very exciting, especially with electric vehicles, and it's the same. If you jump into that wagon, it goes very fast, like the components, the designs, the architecture itself, the batteries. If you stop and to go to another industry for a year, you come back, you have really to relearn everything almost, because it goes so fast. You are like, but I've been in this mobile phone design industry for almost 20 years. So I've been keeping like updated on all the chipset, all the kind of new technologies. So I'm really also very passionate about like futuristic product and new kind of. I like working on world first product. So that's really my mottos. What's drive my my passion into working in this industry is because I like to work on. I'm very happy to be like the first to work on a new chipset, a new technology. So I try to even restrain myself on sometime, because it can be dangerous for the company to be too early. You want to be successful, to be at the right time, at the right moment. This is where you can have like the to be really successful. But always exciting to work on something new.
So you must be very smart to be successful and to maintain that success for a long time. And how you are able to adapt to the constant change that is happening in the world.
Well, I spend a lot of time also like to study the world, how it works, So I try to not be disconnected of what's happening in the world. So I'm very well aware of the status of the world. I think this is a main thing, to be able to understand what people want at the right time, or what people will want in the next few years. Again, I try to avoid. I'm very kind of a futuristic, passionate person, but that can also, I don't want to be too in advance, because it's very hard to foresee what will be, especially for technology, what will happen in 20 years, or But so, even though I love it, I try to really focus on the next 2 to 3 years. And for that, just by following like the news, being very, so for me, X is the best example, because that's the place where all the news are. That's where we met actually, on X, where you contacted me, I think. And that's where, everything is, if something happened in the world, you know that it will be on X. So if you are interested in news, and probably a good to be on X.
And what are your learning resources?
Sorry, say it
Where
again.
do you, what are your learning resources from where you learn things?
Well, there are many influential people that I follow, many things I read. So, every morning, as I said, I never got any helper at home. So people ask me if I do sports. I said, look, I spend my morning to clean my house, or to clean at least the living room, because I have 2 kids, and I can tell you it's quickly like a mess when you have like 2 kids. So they go to school. Then I clean my house, and this is my gym, basically. It's my morning routine. And at the same time, actually, it's my time, so I will put like my, my AirPods, if you want, like my earbuds, and then I will listen like many kind of podcasts. So actually I use YouTube as a podcast. You don't have this like TV, but with the sound, and I just like leave that in my ears for an hour. Many podcasts. I used to read a lot, but now I have less time for reading, so I can read like short things on all about industry. Same, I start from X mainly. I spend much less time than before. I was always opening, when I started my career, like all this kind of industrial website about my industry. So I was really about knowing things before anyone else. I always wanted to be not the first, but I mean part of the people to know. So to be like a knowledgeable person. The same for geopolitics. There are very few things that, people will tell me, have you heard about that? I will say, yes, I've heard about it. So because I'm really about the news, and that makes you a person very knowledgeable, to be aware about things. And I'm always surprised when people tell me like, oh, I didn't know that. I was like, come on, oh, could you not know that? Like, that's crazy for me. So I try to be part of the people who know what happens. And in my industry, it's just like also an advice in a industry. So I'm in the oral care, I'm in the wearables. So when people send me a link about, competitors who launch this or that, I would say, obviously I knew before them. That's my industry. That would be kind of a shame if I didn't know about, wow, I didn't know about that. Come on, that's your industry. You should know. And you should be the first to know. So I'm very, very, I would say, professional on that. And after also about the world, I try to not be like, clueless. I think there is nothing worse than being clueless. So try to be, I don't know what the opposite is, like knowledgeable, or to have knowledge. I don't know. That helps a lot.
And there must be a strong qualities of yours which made you to be what you are today. So what are those qualities that worked for you and that made you be what you are today?
Again, I would say that again. I'm very interested in many things, and for the things I'm passionate, I tend to be an expert. So for my business, I am an expert. And sometimes I meet people who want to enter, our industry, but who lack this expertise or this knowledge, because they don't, it's a bit drawback. It's a big disadvantage for them to not be aware of what people. If you are launching a product that already exists and where you are not bringing, any added value, that's a big mistake. You need to know your competitive advantage. And so there are few things that I learned probably from school, actually, from from the business world, but after that I use also after I learn, from my managers and directors I had in my career, is like there are two things. The first one is the SWOT analysis, like the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats. So you have like internal factors, your own strengths and your own weaknesses, and then you have the external factors, the opportunities about the market, and the threats, like a new competitor, a big Apple is coming to your field, that's a big red flag, etc. So this is very important to really update your SWOT analysis. And the second one is a PDCA. It's kind of a continuous improvement mindset, engineering mindset, which consists of plan, do, check, act. And this, I really use that. You plan something, then you do it, then you check that everything is running as you plan, and if not, or if yes, you act accordingly. And then it's like a continuous improvement process. And so SWOT analysis, PDCA, we use a lot. And people tend to, especially in consumer, segment, people try, they mislead plan with promise. When you promise something, it looks like almost like a religious thing. Like you make a promise that you, but plan is very different because, shit happens. In a planning, sometimes again, it goes back to your internal and external factors. Sometimes if one of your supplier like screw up their own planning, their own delivery, this is an external factor that will delay your plan. But so you have to be very careful about to make people understand the difference between plan and promise. And that's what happened for example, to Elon Musk, for example, with always late on his, he push his engineering team, he will communicate on his planning, his very aggressive planning. I tend to be way more conservative on my planning to not deceive like the consumer, or my customers, in a way that because people always miss plan. So that's what's probably.
Sorry, I lost you again.
Sorry. I tried to go closer to my microphone, but I
Yeah, this
think
is good.
you got most of what I said, right?
Yeah. I
Okay,
mean, it
cool.
lasts like a little bit, but you made a very good points. I think it's a lot of educative and a lot of thought provoking.
Cool. Happy to share with your audience.
Great. And at last, what do you say about your work to my audience who are listening to this from anywhere on this planet?
Say it again.
At last, what do you say about your work, about your products that you're building and that you're selling to my audience who are listening to this from anywhere on this planet?
Well, so we work on many kind of products. This is one of our latest development. So you can see that one is like probably Oclean, not for sale, but actually you can buy that one. This is incredible. So we designed like the world first toothbrush with a display where we can show you where you did not brush your teeth. So this is an essential patent we have like for the last 2 years. We started with the Oclean X. This is the Oclean X Ultra. That one can even tell you when you brush too hard. It will use like bone conduction to speak to you. It's an incredible device. If you can try any kind of Oclean product. Trust me, it's very premium and at the same time very affordable. We got that from our DNA, what we learned from Xiaomi, working, under Huami at a very humble beginning in 2016. And yeah, that's really, you can check like Oclean.com, like the whole lineup, incredible product at very affordable price. And for Omate, so we design like so this we will announce actually later this year. So we are very strong on the seniors, on the elderly. So we design like many kind of smartwatches, dedicated to the seniors. So with the service where people can press a button and then it will automatically take your GPS location and help you in case of an emergency. And earlier this year, last year we launched like our second iteration of a smart ring. So we launched like that one in Europe. It has been very successful. It's an incredible product as well. The smart ring is very exciting because it reminds me like smartwatch 10 years ago, where it was the early beginning. It's fantastic product to track your sleep basically, or to get all your health monitoring in a very unobtrusive way. I love watches since I'm a kid, so I have a lot of watches, but I cannot sleep with them. So I cannot sleep with a smartwatch basically. But smart ring is really like that really, acts the game, because definitely a smart ring, you totally forget about it. It has a very long battery life. So what we will announce later this year is a combination of smart ring with our smartwatch, combining all the health monitoring from the ring instead of taking it from the watch, and to combine all of that to focus again for the seniors. So this is going to be very innovative, and so I'm just telling you, to your audience in advance, that's what I'm very crystal clear. I share our plan, you see. That's our plan. We will launch that, and that's super exciting because that would be we will be the first company to do that with insurance and telecare company. So that will be the ring. This is our prototype new ring, and it's really, really incredible. I love this device. It's really, really beautiful. I love smart ring. And okay, something I can show you. This was our very first. This is very unique because this is crystal, and this we won't go in production. I offer it only to our partners. It's extremely hard to do. It's unscratchable, but the problem is that it's very hard to industrialize. So at the end, we will not launch it, but we did a mini series. I'm not sure if you could see, but you can see all the components. It's really, really, it's very fun. It's unscratchable, but it's very expensive, and it's only for happy few customers, because it's extremely hard to industrialize. So cannot go in really mass production with that. So that's about our plan. Yeah, that's what we are going to do. And then next year, maybe we will launch. Maybe I will launch a new company with some friends, and that's a totally very innovative device, but it's too early to speak about it. So stay tuned.
Great. So I'm sure you will do a lot of research before doing everything.
I'm very excited about that new product. It's very, very, very cool. So yeah, I hope to be able to tell you more later this year, or probably around in Q1. Yeah, our goal is to, but everything also is linked to some external factors. So we are waiting whether we trigger the button to launch that new device, new concept, or not. So it's still under, design and early phase, let's say. But I really wish we could launch it, but it's, we will see.
Great. I'll put the web links on the screen and also in the description of this video, and also on my website as well. People who find this video or anywhere in the internet can able to see your work and can able to see the products that you're designing, and hopefully it will reach everywhere in the world.
Yeah, and feel free to you can find me on X, on LinkedIn. Feel free to share links about that's where more like our professional, where I share most of my professional. I used to write on Medium as well. I should do more to share my plan, but got a bit busy the last few years. So yeah, X is the right place to find me, and LinkedIn. Feel free to follow or connect on LinkedIn.
Great. At last, as a business owner, as a person who is into engineering thing, and also a person who came from very sales background, and today established two different companies, and also planning for another company, and
Yeah.
working internationally. What is your observation about my work? Have you seen any videos of mine on YouTube?
Of what? Say it again.
Have you seen any videos of mine on YouTube?
I'm not sure. Say it again because I'm not sure if I catch you well. But
As a
you,
person, yeah, as a person who is working internationally and reaching everywhere with your products, what is your observation about my work? Have you seen any videos of mine on YouTube?
yeah, yeah. Of course, I have checked before we. So yeah, it's good. It's good to share like things with an audience and give some advice, and if we can help. Again, me, I'm also in the same very open on sharing things, especially with a younger, audience. To be because we have been through a lot of challenges. Let's say, obviously in the entrepreneurial world is not easy. I've seen so many things. I've seen even big companies failing. I've seen crazy startups super successful going straight crash in the wall. So any mistake you can avoid is welcome. So try to learn from what you can see on especially like interviews like that. I watch a lot of seminar interviews and read books about like people that you can feel are successful. Peter Thiel, for example, Elon Musk I remember like reading his biography was incredible. Peter Thiel is probably also very high level, 0 to 1. I really recommend. Probably would need an update because it was 10 years ago now. But yeah, follow also some influential people that you really believe. Wow, what he writes is smart. This is a smart mind. There are plenty of people like that on, especially on X. They are all there actually. Connect with people on LinkedIn. It's more like a professional place, and yeah, wish you all the best in your endeavor.
And I have done masters in software engineering, also bachelor's in computer science and engineering. Right now, I'm working as a DevOps engineer for a London company remotely from India. So that's my full-time role. Apart from that, I'm interviewing experts like you from all over the world, trying to know what you're building and what you're creating and how you're contributing to the planet. So I'm interviewing
Cool.
business owners, leaders, CEOs, CFOs, CROs, and also founders of different businesses, and also some police officers, authors, psychologists, doctors. Like I'm trying to interview all the people from all the industries, from all the countries, more than 100 countries experts I have interviewed in last 3 years, more than 800 interviews I have done. So
Wow, that's a
including
lot.
yeah, and also including the vice president of Amazon Web Services, and also the vice president of Salesforce, like lot of influential people, and lot of people who created impact in respective companies. So
Yeah, that's
me
cool.
trying
That's
to
cool. Keep
me
open-minded. That's the best thing to do, to know the world and learn from others.
So me having this engineering background, having engineering side, of my, my past, and also doing engineering work in my full time and trying to understand the business side of the technology and trying to understand business in different countries, how business works in different countries, how this knowledge is going to contribute to my career and to my personal growth as a business owner. What do you say about me?
Well, you know, it's all about like again, there is a part of really knowing, like being an expert in the field you are interested in, and after um, launch a product and team up with the right people at the right time. So there is still a piece of luck as well, an effect of luck, which is undeniable. I mean, there are like all the successful people I know, like, and even also for some project where I got like really, really big issues, and suddenly I got like this incredible luck, coming to save me. So, you need again to have, as I mentioned, like to launch a product or a service, it's really like to have at the right time. The stars needs to be aligned. Don't launch too fast. Don't launch too late. Obviously, it's probably even worse. At least if it's fast, you can still feel that you were part of the pioneers. You were part of the very people to believe in. That doesn't mean you will win. That's a problem. But at least you can still have these things to feel that you were part of the first people to know that it was something which were going to be big. If you are late, that's you will have no recognition at all. So, and you will fail. So, but the best is to be at the right time, at the right time, right moment, with the right people, and on the right market. And this is extremely hard. It needs to have like a lot of probably knowledge about the market and knowledge about the condition of the world and the economic situation. I just give you one last example. Like this year, we really redesign our products to be more affordable, and they were already very affordable, but we really been like very requiring in terms of design to engineering to make our product very, very good, but to make sure they are also our lineup, our newest lineup is affordable, because we know like the condition, the economic condition are tough in our key markets. So we have to adjust that. And if you launch, like, it's even worse for cars or for expensive product to be overpriced or to be not at the sweet spot. This is a disaster, for many companies. So this is very important to be, to adjust your price and your product to be in line with the market condition. And this is basically marketing too. And then you can sell your product without needs of a salesman who is telling you like, oh, this product is better than this one. No, the product sells itself because it's at the right positioning.
Enough now. Can you share your websites to my podcast listeners? Can you spell it? If they're hearing it on podcast.
Yes, so there are three. So the first one, B2C, consumer product, is Oclean. So OCLEAN, as it sounds, Oclean.com. And for our smartwatch for seniors or people who need protection is Omate, OMATE.com. And our B2B mother company is called Omahome, OMAHOME.com. And so if you want to design a product, you can contact Omahome. If you want to launch products from Omate, you can contact Omate. And for distribution of Oclean, you can contact me on or for all of them on LinkedIn, on Twitter, and I will follow up and introduce you to the right person internally.
Great. Can I put this video on my YouTube channel with your permission?
Yes, sure. All good. It was a pleasure discussing with you, and I wish you all the best, and all the best to everyone in your audience.
Thank you very much. Can I also put this audio and video clip on my podcast website, internet, social media, everywhere with your permission?
Because anywhere you want with it, you're more than welcome. It was a pleasure discussing with you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Again, take care.
Cool.
Bye.